Hello, welcome to this Linq to SharePoint 2010 tutorial. This is part 3, fetching data from SharePoint list. I'm Serge Luca, SharePoint MVP, working for Devoteam Belgium. Code and PDF file can be downloaded from my blog, http://sergeluca.spaces.live.com, and this is part of Devoteam SharePoint 2010 course that I teach for Devoteam in Belgium and Luxembourg. Make sure you completed the previous tutorial. And now I'm going to create a function that will fetch suppliers data. So let's go. Let's create a static function, static void get suppliers. We need a data context, and no, I'm going to use the simplify syntax from s in context.suppliers, where s.country.title equal USA, select S. Now let's run the query by using a for each. For each sub in suppliers US. I will display the supplier name and the country title. My system is becoming a little bit slow again. This is beta 2. Okay, so now let's call a function in main. Forget to call function, to get supplier function here. Good. Okay, sounds good. Now, if you want to visualize the camel query, which is generated under the cover, you need to analyze the context.log property. For instance, here I will redirect this log property to the console out object. Okay, and here you can notice very important elements here that are project fields. So we can do projection in camel as well, and the joined element here to join several lists together. The previous query is executed in the content database because it can be translated into a camel statement. However, there are many Linq operators that cannot be translated into camel, and therefore must run into the caller application, which could be the web frontend or elsewhere. So for instance here, if I want to return the US suppliers but only the suppliers that are in a higher position than index 2, for instance, so I need to use the method notation to do that. That's a normal operator that you find in Linq to object. But if you run this, you'll have an invalid operation exception. And many other operators documented into the Sharepoint SDK generate this exception here. So to fix this, you need to bring the data to the client, so to the caller application. And for instance, you can use a toList operator and do the query, the inefficient query, on the toList operator. So on, for instance, here, let's define an enumerable that will host or supplier list. So in the previous beta, SharePoint did it automatically. You didn't have to provide your own client-side variable. But that's not supported anymore. Which is maybe a good option because you are aware that you are running your query on client side, and this can be dangerous. Okay, so on our client-side variable, we will run our link to object operator here, because right now this is linked to object. Okay, so let's run the code. And that works.